Americans are going nuts for Formula One. The sport's in the midst of a perfect storm and growth is surging. Let's look at the US GP at COTA in Texas. In 2015, they had 224,000 spectators. Last year, 440,000. Any sport would love this sort of growth. And trust me, all sports in the US are looking at what F1 is doing to have achieved this massive growth. Some facts. The average age of an NBL fan is 52. For an F1 fan, it's 32. And in 2017, that was 36. Why is that important? Well, this younger age group is a highly desirable demographic for advertisers. They're more mobile, they have higher levels of disposable income, but they tend to watch very little TV and instead are drawn to streaming content mostly on their phones. After all, who wants to sit in front of a TV at a time a network demands that you do it? And while these 30-somethings want content when it's convenient for them, many will rearrange their schedule to watch an F1 session or a race live. ESPN broadcasts the races in the US. In 2022, race broadcasts were averaging around about 1.2 million viewers a race, and that was a record. In 2021, that figure was around 950,000 per race, and at that time, that was a record. The biggest race on US TV last year? The Miami GP, with about 2.6 million viewers. That was the most watched F1 race ever in that country. And like many other countries, interest from US females has doubled over the past 4 years. Females watching race broadcasts jumped 34% from 2021 to 2022. So why are US women more interested? Well, certainly Drive to Survive and social media have been big drivers. It's fair to say that women are more interested in the personal side of the sport as opposed to the track action. Drive to Survive introed the drivers to them in a new way, and social media channels like mine on Instagram and here on YouTube focus a lot on the personal side of the sport, and the public is lapping it up. These female followers want to know more about the women who work in the sport. I know they've left now, but Britta and Angela have been hugely popular on my channel and on social media. They want to know about the drivers' wives and girlfriends. F1 has also ramped up the celebrity side of things. They and the teams are keen to invite big names to races. Why? Because they know it generates huge exposure for the sport. When the likes of Tom Cruise, Megan Thee Stallion or Will Smith posts about their day at the track, the sport's exposed to millions and at virtually no cost to Formula One. The US is so much more oriented towards celebrities than, say, Europe or the UK, and this strategy has proved very powerful for growing the sport. Did you realise that more people watch the Indy 500 than watch the Super Bowl? Now, F1 is challenging those events. There's only one Super Bowl, there's only one Indy 500, but there are 3 F1 races in the US, and they're run at times that are convenient for the local market to watch. My following in the US has skyrocketed. More than half of the signed prints I offer are sent to the US. Sure, you can wait around for days to get a driver to quickly scrawl something for you at the track, but if you want to gift or sell that in the future, there's no real proof that that's authentic. I include a digital pic of the driver signing each individually numbered print, which provides irrefutable proof of authenticity. And it's a perfect signature. And while half of the signed prints go to the US, 62% of my photo books are bought by US buyers. What about Europe? Yeah, about 8%. Britain? 12%. My biggest meet and greet last year was in Austin, where some 60 people showed up. Now that's never happened. Americans are the quintessential consumers. There are 330 plus million of them, and they're sports mad. Just about every US restaurant that I dined in last year had TV screens showing sport. Now, I don't see that anywhere else in the world. It's a monster market. Now we have the likes of Williams, owned by Dorilton, a US company. They have a US driver. Aston Martin's part owned by Lawrence Stroll, a North American. Haas is American-based, and McLaren has a huge following in the US, with its IndyCar team being similarly branded. That's a fair whack of the field with very strong US links. Now, many in F1's homeland of Britain and Europe are not going to be happy about this. Many saying the sport's been hijacked, but business is business. If there's growth there to be had, the sport's owners owe it to their shareholders to find it. And if it's found in the US, or for that matter the Middle East, they're within their rights to certainly pursue those markets. And pursue the US, they are doing. Of course, COVID reset everybody. People valued their spare time, the number of road trips went up, doing stuff as a family became more popular again. And while most people now watch TV shows and movies when they want, sport is different. You Brits will be conditioned to set aside a couple of hours on a Sunday afternoon to watch a race. In my country, we set aside Sunday nights, and in the US, many get up early to watch each race. Why? Because you and I want to witness the excitement as it happens. We want to be able to react to the highs and the lows with others in real time. And it's almost impossible to watch a replay without accidentally learning of the result. From a TV perspective, F1 has the magic ingredients: speed, danger, colour, money, international travel, luxury, celebrities, passionate fans, and drama. How does F1 stack up against the NFL? Well, there are around 1,700 players in the NFL. In F1, just 20. NFL has 17 regular season games. In F1, it's 23 or 24 races around the world. And these F1 athletes are now under intense scrutiny. Liberty has played this perfectly. They took over a sport that Bernie Ecclestone had tightly controlled. And remember, Bernie didn't really want the paddock's goings-on exposed. He detested social media, even wrote to Lewis on a number of occasions, giving him a serve for posting on social media. There's no doubt his business formula worked. He'd grown the sport pretty quickly. But Liberty have taken it to the next level, opening up the sport to the fans through DTS, through allowing teams to produce their own content, and even inviting photographers like me into the sport. I'd have had no chance getting in under Bernie's tight control. And modern advertisers are seeing their returns from ads in magazines, TV, radio diminish. So they're looking more to social media and influencers. The other thing that F1 has over traditional sports is the duration of an event. A soccer game lasts a couple of hours, NFL 3, Major League Baseball, maybe 4. An F1 event, 3 or 4 days. Sure, the race lasts 2 hours, but that's only about 5% of the weekend. There's so much more for the fans at the track with practice, quali, fan zone appearances, concerts, media events, and much more. It's the pantomime in the sport that's grabbed the attention of the US market. And when Dad can get Mum and his family to join him at the track, that's a real win. But of course, there's been a lot of talk about pricing. Yes, the cost of an F1 ticket in the US is steep, and Las Vegas will ratchet that up even further. But supply and demand will determine what these tickets sell for. Remember, for Miami and Vegas, they have to start with nothing. They have to turn these venues into racetracks. Now, there's a huge infrastructure cost involved, but with 330 plus million people in the US, there are plenty of people eager to spend big dollars to be a part of this travelling circus. Fans on budgets will now have to stay further away or in less salubrious lodgings than they'd normally have enjoyed, but they will do it. The other thing I see on the rise is security guards for drivers and team hierarchy. When you go to a race this year, you'll see that many of these drivers are achieving rock star status. Lewis has had 1 or more bodyguards at each race for years. Max has had guards at a couple of races, and Ferrari employs security for drivers and team bosses. I think others will be forced to do the same as the sport forges further ahead. Another factor driving the popularity of drivers is the fact that you can now contact them through Instagram or Twitter with direct messages. Of course, whether or not they read them, well, that's a different matter altogether. But you can contact them, and you can also see into their private lives like you have never been able to in the past. Another thing, 58.5% of you are not subscribed to my channel. Go figure. That is a crazy figure. So please, could you hit the subscribe button now? And if you've liked the video, hit the like button too. And join as a member for some great prizes and extras. You'll find all of my digital images at prostarpics.com for a range of driver signed prints, merchandise, photo books, and wall art. Go to kimellman.com. And for my best images live from the track and all during the week, head to Instagram and search at Kim Ellman. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate.
No, that's wrong. Oh, hell.